In today's lesson, we're going to look at what not to do in IELTS Writing Task 1. Hello and welcome to another video. My name's Alex. Remember to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of our lessons on Tuesdays and Thursdays. In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at IELTS Writing Task 1. Students often find this part quite tricky. Maybe it's because it's not really like anything you do in your normal life. But today we're going to look at 5 things that you shouldn't do in this Writing Task 1, irrespective of the task type. If it's a chart or a graph or a map, then this is good advice for all of these task types. Okay, so let's look at 5 mistakes in IELTS Writing Task 1. So these are things that you shouldn't do. And as I said, these apply to all different task types in Writing Task 1. So the first thing you shouldn't do. Don't start writing straight away. Plan. People often make the mistake of starting to write straight away because they think they don't have enough time and they only have 20 minutes for this task. But having a little plan that takes 1 minute to make is really going to help you. And there's some different things you can do to plan. We're going to look at these in the other pieces of advice. A nice expression here, nice saying, fail to plan, plan to fail. That's not what you want to do here. Okay, and the second thing you shouldn't do, don't write about every single feature. You have to choose the significant ones. That's good advice because often people think that there's too much information there to write about. You have 150 words to write and sometimes it feels like you can't include everything, and it's because you shouldn't include everything. You have to choose the most prominent, the most visible features that you can see in the table, in the graph, in the map, and you have to talk about them. IELTS stars, that's what we want to become. So some more good advice, train yourself. Something you should do here actually is train yourself to write it in 20 minutes. It is possible, and with practice you can become better at this, and you don't want to eat into your time for task 2. Number 3, write more than 1 paragraph. 3 or 4 is ideal. That's good advice and something you should do in the planning stage as well. Task 1 is easy with practice. It's the kind of thing you can get better at. There's a formula to this. It doesn't have to be creative. You don't have to think of ideas like in task 2. And the 4th piece of advice, don't use your knowledge of the world. Only talk about what you can see. So that's good advice as well, because you shouldn't talk about, you shouldn't make assumptions, you shouldn't predict things, you can't use your own knowledge of anything about the world and when you're talking about these things, or talk about reasons for things, because you can't see it on the page. So you need to stick to what is given in the information in the task 1 writing. And the last piece of advice, which may seem obvious, is to use the correct tense. Very often the information you're given in task 1 types is about the past, and students try to use the present perfect, which you can't do. So if all of the information is in the past, try to stick to past tenses. Most of it will be in past simple, to make it, which will make it easy, and try to throw in a past perfect there to make it a bit better as well. Do you have any other advice for writing task 1? Let us know in the comments. Follow us on social media for daily updates, and see you next time.